You are Laney. I am Marshall,
Wait.
and we are talking about scents. Thank you, Zainey friends. Thank you for joining us at this point in the video. Normally we say Zainey friends right at the beginning, but we're just throwing that out the window because we are bringing you what you asked for.
Welcome to the Marshall Takeover video.
This is Marshall taking over. And so what we're talking about today is how we construct the scents for Zainey Laney.
People have asked.
People have asked because this is a bigger process for us. We don't just like throw it out there. This is because we do a themed box. That is one of the bigger challenges. We have to create not just good scents, but we have to create good scents that match a theme.
And so if you really have no idea what we're talking about when we talk about a box, we do sell wax. Right now we sell wax and body sprays, and we are about to add candles to our repertoire. We're testing out some body products, but all of those start with scents. And you can find all that on our website. We have been having boxes out since last September, so that's a good amount of boxes. We're close to a year. So what people have been asking for is, you have these really unique scent combinations. How do you come up with the scents and the scent combinations? So from day one, what we had to think of was a theme. Okay, so a lot of this is really arbitrary, and some of it we just stumble upon by luck, to be really honest. But what we did was we think of a theme. So what we're going to do is talk about our May box and how we kind of came up with some scents on there. You've got that. So for May, first we had to come up with a theme. And I know some people, I said this in my other video, but I was a little mad because we plan out with a little bit of leeway and some changes. We loosely plan out the entire year of themes that we are going to do. And then we take that theme and we break it down to 4 different like characters or things within that theme that we're going to base a scent on. So for May, of course, we chose Captain America because he's amazing, and Loki because we had a friend who had an idea for a scent. We chose Captain Marvel because we knew she was going to have a movie coming out next year, and we chose Spider-Man because it's Marshall's favorite. So those are the 4 that we chose, and so we broke it down and we were like, okay, these are the 4 scents. So then we come to the scent side. So when we had started the company, I did a lot of research as to the fragrances that we were going to use. I knew that based on what I personally like to use, it needed to be more natural. It did not need to have toxins in it. It needed to be safe for us not only to use in wax, but also in body products. And so that really led me to the company that I wanted to use. And I'm pretty much just use things from one company because I know after testing what their products are like, and because of the cost. They were pretty reasonable when it came to what they were offering and what they had, but because of that, sometimes I have to price things a little bit higher because of the quality of the oils that we use. So that is something that I had to take into consideration, plus on the top of the fact that you're doing original art. So that all kind of rolls in. So once we have the company, what I would do is when I order scents from a company, I will order the big sizes of what I need along with little sizes of different scents in the shop that sound interesting to me. You know, like I try to get a variety. I get some musky scents, I get some bakery scents, I get some fruity scents, so that I have these little mini samples of all these different scents tucked away in storage. Okay, that either I have in my head, yes, I want to use that scent combination for this, or I'm like, I don't know what I'd use it for, but I kind of like it, so we're just going to stick it here, and maybe down the line we're going to use it. Mm-hmm. So then we've got that, right? So then we come at it from a different standpoint when it comes to the characters, right?
When it comes to the characters, it breaks it down to what are they like, mm-hmm. what kinds of smells do they like. Many shows will tell you what their favorite foods are, what their favorite smells are. If you have a good enough Wikipedia, mm-hmm. you can find that out pretty quickly.
But it's really hard to find food scents that are not bakery scents or tea scents in a shop. Like, we tried to find pizza and chips. That's kind of not happening.
When you go
It's
for the more
hard.
savory foods, you're not gonna find that in a pleasing scent. Our bacon scent that we got, that we were planning on using for one of them.
Also, coffee. Coffee is a really
It's
difficult
hard
scent.
to get a good coffee.
You have to get like a blend coffee that has like a vanilla in it or something, or else it just smells really rancid. It's not great. We're gonna take, like I said, we're gonna take the Maybox as an example. And again, sometimes this is just luck. So let me tell you an example of when this did not work. We originally, for the Maybox, wanted to have a Vision and Scarlet Witch scent. So we were going through everything we had in our samples and in our existing scents and being like, what can we have a combination for? I was not feeling inspired at all. I didn't know what to do. I was like, I don't even know how to like loosely correlate it with something else. Like it just did not work.
And at the same time, while I was working on the artwork, it was cool, but it didn't feel like it worked either.
Which is why we went with Loki, because all of a sudden somebody had an idea for it. We were like, this is going to work. So then, so once we kind of brainstorm and say, do we have an idea off the top of our head of a scent combination that's going to work together for this character, then we find scent blends that would match. So, for instance, Loki, the girl who helped us create it, was a fire and ice preference. So what we did was we found like red hot cinnamons, like those red hots, and then we found like an ice scent and kind of put it together. So it is an interpretation of fire and ice. So that's one way that we try to figure out our scents.
On the other hand, we do sometimes have, while we're just trying to figure out scents for one character, we'll happen upon a particular combination. And we'll be like, well, that doesn't work for this character, but I like that combination.
And we'll make a list of these are the combinations that we really like. We might be able to use this sometime in the future. Because again, we have some that are planned out for the year that we know the themes and we know the characters that we're going to base them on, but we don't have a scent for it yet. So we'll go back to our list and be like, would this work for that?
For example, the 7 scents that we did, it was one of those where I was like, I like this leather jacket, I see this rose, and I tried them out together, and I'm like, I like this combination. It's clean, but it's also got this kind of sexy scent. And then we decided, well, we really needed something for Captain Marvel, and we're like, this works.
And I think for us, we are really, both of us, are blessed with a really good nose. So that we can, my mom is like that too. So she has a nose taste thing to the point where she will eat something and she will say, oh, this has saffron in it. You know, and she'll know that's what it is just by her taste and smell. And we have inherited that. My husband is not as lucky. Every time I'm like, here, smell this. And he's like,
he actually, while we're doing production, has to wear a breath mask to cover himself up, because otherwise some of the scents just don't do well for him.
Yeah, they get very overpowering to him and muddled, and then they start giving him a headache, which scents do for me too, but we definitely try to pick scents that will not hurt you. You know, like if they don't cause us migraines, they more than likely will not cause you a migraine. There are certain scents, however, that we will never, ever use if it is the main scent. Lavender and patchouli are the two ones of those, because if they are the main scent in a blend, it destroys us. We have migraines so badly, we can't function. However, we have used blends where the lavender or the patchouli is like the lowest scented thing on there, that everything else covers it up and we're fine. So that's why you will never see like, oh, I would like a mint lavender scent. No, that's not happening. I'm really sorry.
And that is another thing that goes into some of our designs, is that it's not just a pure this oil or a pure this oil. It typically ends up being blends that we then blend together with other blends to create really robust combinations.
Yes, so it's not just a lot of, like, even though we only put like 3 notes on a clamshell, a lot of people say, well, I don't smell this. Well, that has to do with your nose preference of what it wants to smell, and the fact that we don't always put every single scent in our blends on the clamshell, because number one, it's our blend secret of what we're using, and number two, because there's so many different scents inside the clamshell, what we put on the paper is what we smell the most of. And again, you might not smell that because your nose is different than our nose. So that's one of the reasons why when I watch YouTube videos of our stuff, I am fascinated, because one person will be like, I pick out the cinnamon. And the other person will be like, I pick out the ice. And the other person will be like, well, I don't smell any of that. And you're like, so for the most part, that is how we find and create our scents for our company. A lot of it has to do with just luck, some of it's skill, and some of it's some very careful planning. So that's how it works.
And it can also be a little bit of community. Do you want to join our community? Do you want to hear about things going on in our community? We have a notification button for that.
Mm-hmm. We actually will have a giveaway coming up for something happening in September. We were supposed to do a roulette box, which was going to have our community scents that people submitted and then voted on as a group, and we had our top 4. We were going to do a box about that, but now that we have changed a few things about our company, which you'll find out in our next Zainey Laney video, then what we had decided was we're going to take the scents from that box and we're going to release one every month alongside our themed months, so that you'll be able to see what these scents really are and not have them be all in a box. But what that means for you is that we will be having a giveaway sometime in the future for the opportunity to create your own scent. And that will be a lot of fun because we love partnering with people to see what they create. And then, you know, even though they have an idea for a scent, I will be like, okay, well, here are the blends that I think would go and create this and take it to the next level. And then Marshall will be like, and here's art. Mm-hmm. Next level art.
And I'm a little bit sad because I was really looking forward to doing the postcard art for Electric Boogaloo.
Roulette 2. There will be a little playlist right here of all of our Zainey, Laney, wax and body spray videos if you want to see our past months. June is exciting because we have 80s movie themed, which is so fun. And right here, subscribe. Until next time.
Stay zany.